Well, it's a bad day for John Deere. There was a report a few days ago that I shared about them closing down a facility in, I think, Iowa, and 600 more than 600 people being laid off. And now we have a report of them being woke. Oh, all right. This is from Johnny Starbuck. John Deere has been one of the most beloved brands by conservative farmers, but most recently, on CEO John May's watch, they've gone woke. Here's some of what we found: funding a pride event for kids as young as 3. Gross. Genderbread man training. I don't even know what that is, but it doesn't sound good. They ask employees to list their preferred pronouns on all communications. Bill Gates is listed as their largest shareholder, which, okay, he bought a bunch of stock. That doesn't mean, or that might not mean anything, but with enough stock, you begin to have sway over a company. So that could be suspect. Maybe that's the reason why these things happened. Who knows? John Deere celebrated their accounting and financing team taking in United Way's 21-day United for Equity program. Equity is something that needs to be avoided. When I did United for Equity program, it promoted Ibram Kendi, the woke children's book Anti-Racist Baby, Awake to Woke to Work, a podcast on the concept of whiteness, woke activist Robin DiAngelo, bigotry against Christians who supposedly have Christian privilege, and more. Yikes. The woke policies have spread across the globe. John Deere brand, with many of their DEI policies also being forced on their Latin America and India branches, which I can't imagine Latin America getting involved in that at all. The woke policies have spread across the global John Deere brand, with many of their DEI policies also being forced on their Latin America and India branches. And I can't really see Latin America or India really enjoying those policies at all. It doesn't really fit with their culture very well. So I'm interested in seeing the reaction to that in those countries. LGBTQ and race-based identity groups at corporate, a total commitment to DEI policies, 95 out of 100 CEI score from the HRC, which I'm assuming that's equity, DEI related stuff. Okay. John Deere also just announced layoffs in the US, and they plan to shift their large segments of production away from the US to Mexico, which I already reported on. To put it mildly, John Deere seems to have forgotten who their customers are. Having a farm myself, I'm disgusted that a once great American brand is now taking this turn to seemingly embrace leftist policies that are diametrically opposed to the values of most farmers. What's known is, what's unknown is whether CEO John May is knowingly forcing these policies, or if it's gotten out of control and he's out of the loop on how bad it is. His response to this story will be very revealing as to his culpability in the implementation of woke policies. This report is only the beginning. We have so many pieces of news to report, it's going to take weeks, maybe even months to report it thoroughly. I plan to report what we found piece by piece so that customers and potential customers are informed on the brand policies. If they're proud of adopting these policies, then John Deere and their CEO should be overjoyed by my reporting on their policies, positions, donations, and culture. Next, we're going to to be doing a deep dive on donations, interviews, and their interviews their executives have given, hiring practices, woke causes they've supported, the difficulties some farmers have faced trying to repair their products, and much more. Um, yeah, I heard probably a couple of years ago that John Deere is trying to make it impossible for farmers to fix their own tractors, that they have to take it to a John Deere dealer, specifically for electronic related stuff, that they have their electronics, I think, patented or copyright, I don't know, something along those lines, so that farmers, I think they made it illegal for farmers to fix their own equipment. And that makes me not want to get a John Deere, which is crazy, because John Deere was the standard for farmers for how many decades? They've been around forever. I remember playing on some antique John Deeres that my grandpa had back in the 80s, and they're probably from the 50s or 60s. I don't know when he got them. They were super old though. Anyway, it's sad to see companies going off the deep end and embracing these DEI things. The only thing companies should be focusing on is keeping their customers happy and a meritocracy, getting the best people to work for them that they can, and making their customers happy. Beyond that, if companies want to donate to charities or something, that sure, why not? But forcing their employees to do DEI related stuff, and hiring based on DEI, and getting my mind went blank. Promotions, and getting promotions based on gender or equity or whatever, that's a way to kill a company. But as long as they get backing by BlackRock, I guess they can become a zombie company. Well, yay. Anyway, that's all I've got today. If you want to comment on this, please do so down below. Always like, share, and subscribe, and we'll